Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. I had intended on doing something funny this morning, but I started trying to get through some of my messages, and there's a whole lot of people asking me to dissect the Fullerton incident. The message that caught my attention is, Bo, what happened in Fullerton? If anybody can tell us what this cop did wrong, it's you. Okay. If you are new to my videos, I'm a very strong critic of police departments and tend to rip apart their actions when they use bad tactics. Okay, so other than that, the other thing you need to know is that I hate Fullerton PD. We have a long history of criticism. What did this cop do wrong? Nothing. Nothing. What can be expected in a situation like this? The use of time, distance, and cover. He tried. That's why he went around the back of the vehicle like that. When he gets there, what does he observe? A woman with a firearm. You and I know after the fact that it's not real. There are people who can tell the difference at distance. There's not a lot of them, and there are very, very, very few that could do it under stress. So from there, he's got to make a decision what to do. This isn't a kid playing in a park with a toy gun. This is somebody that got stopped and got out of the vehicle with a firearm on a freeway. There's other people at risk. He engages, doesn't use an excessive amount of force. It's not like he dumped 45 rounds into this woman. From there, he backs out, calls the medics before securing the scene, before even clearing the car. That's outside of standards, okay? But it's sped care, not delayed it. Then he goes to render aid. There's another person that shows up. He kind of takes him at his word that he's a cop. From the video, it does not appear that they know each other. There's a question as to why he was just standing over her afterward, asking her where she's hit. While he's doing that, he's putting on his gloves. Now, he may have also been patting her down, which is also normal. That's standard. And people asked why she was cuffed. He doesn't know at the time how severely she's wounded. We know after the fact. He doesn't know at the time. For all he knows, when he goes to roll her over, she's going to have a second weapon. All of that's normal. That delay where it just looks like he's standing there looking at her, when his hands come back up, you can see the gloves on. And he may have been patting her down in that time too, which is also normal. From there, they pull out the medical kit and begin rendering aid. The medical kit they use, I would be surprised if that was a standard kit, but it's better than what I imagine they're issued. It may be standard, but it was well packed. They did everything they could. They applied the tourniquet and the chest seal. I mean, there's nothing tactically that this officer did wrong in any way. You know, when he's at the back of the vehicle, you can argue, about, well, maybe he should have tried to talk her down, maybe. But that's not expected. That's not something that is, it's not a reasonable request necessarily, given everything that's going on. Now, this can open the debate to whether or not there should be a don't fire until fired upon policy. But I would point out, while that's a topic and a debate to be had, it's not policy, and it's not standard. That's not a national standard. And I don't know that there's anything that he did that could have changed the outcome of this. From everything that I see, everything that's been presented so far, the only times he stepped outside of what the norm is and what standards are and what best practices are, it's sped care, not delayed it. So there you go. Now, you can take this and run with it any way you want. There are a lot of discussions that can be had from this incident, but none of them have to do with bad police tactics. If I'm hot washing this, the only critique I have is that this guy needs to get to the range and run some drills, because his some of the weapons handling is not great, but it's nothing that caused an unjust shoot. This wasn't a kid at a playground where one could reasonably expect it to be a toy. This is somebody who got out of the vehicle holding it and then pointed it at the officer. That was a shooting stance. I don't. So there you go. I hope that answers the questions. There's not. There's nothing that this cop did that any reasonable person, even extremely experienced, would do differently. You might have had somebody try to talk her down, but it's not going to be many. It's not going to be many. Anyway, so there you go. It's just a thought. Y'all have a good night or day.